Why don't we go ahead and get started? So today we have a really huge collection of people, which is awesome, on a really small stage. That's actually what we're retitling this session to. But it's all about success with teams and how to get started with teams and how to take your enterprise into its next steps with teams and successfully deploy it. So it's really what we want to do is we want to hear from people who have done this already and some of the experiences that they've had along the way. So I want to start off with Jacob. Why did you choose to move to Teams? So what were the business reasons for that?
Yeah, first of all, we just saw that it was a very modern tool that users was asking us for. But also, I guess in many companies, we saw that a lot of users had thousands and thousands of unread email in their inbox, and that was something that we wanted to change.
Great. And so did you find that Teams actually has helped with the unread email issue, or?
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, it does. That's what we've seen, at least, and then people get less stressed about it.
Okay.
And also, like, we saw that a lot of people were using email for chat conversation things, like, are we going to lunch, or something that maybe should be sent as a chat. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Carol, you've been working on this as well. What were some of the moves that you made, and why did you choose to move to Teams?
We chose to move to Teams, some strategic reasons, some tactical reasons. Tactically, we've been on the Microsoft Link, Skype, Teams roadmap for quite some time. So Teams was solving some actual issues that we were having tactically, especially from a Mac client point of view. Strategically, we have a lot of collaboration tool sprawl. When new hires come in, typically they're saying there's too many tools, they don't know what to turn to. This was a really nice way for us to consolidate onto a single tool.
Oh, that's great. So they're just using all of your Office 365 in a single environment then?
Correct.
That's great. And Curtis, you also were working with Carol on this as well. Was there any additional color you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, so for us, it's really just one interface and also having just endless amount of capability, because you do have those webhooks, and it was outgoing and incoming webhooks that we were able to set up and integrate into other applications that we also have.
That's great. Okay, so how is Microsoft Teams improving your employee and sort of collaboration experience? And I was hoping maybe Nathan, you could talk about this. I'm sorry.
What we found is that Teams is definitely one place where you can go and not feel like our users don't feel like they're lost. So it is one of the true platforms that we've been able to get file sharing distributed and users actually using file sharing from OneDrive and SharePoint. Before it was, can you send me the link, or where's the file? Or, a lot of times it just ended up in an attachment in an email, and that's not really sharing. That's a point-in-time copy of the document. So Teams has really been the first platform we've been able to get really good file sharing adoption on.
That's great. And so how many people are using Teams at Trek right now? Is this
We have regularly about 800 regular users that are on there. We're doing about 8,000 one-to-one chats a day at Trek. We've deployed it to every desktop in the company, prepping for kind of a go-live where we'll switch over from using Skype for Business to Teams only.
That's awesome. And any other ways that this has really improved sort of people's communication? Is it effectively just file sharing, or was that the big pain point that you were experiencing?
We've had a couple departments. The BI department was really the first area that kind of piloted it, and it grew organically, but they'll be the ones that'll tell you absolutely within their department they have stopped using email to communicate within their department. There's certainly some confidential conversations or blasts that happen where a manager will send something out, but the speed velocity of communication they get across that tool has been so much better, and the history's there. You get so much other noise in your inbox that, the manager in that department definitely put the challenge out there. Don't email me. Hit me up on Teams.
Yeah, that's great. So faster velocity, easier to understand, easier to keep up on top of things. Bernd, you also worked on this as well, right? So could you tell me a little bit about how you've deployed it and sort of what your deployment might look like?
We did not only deploy Teams. We our strategy was to move completely to the Office 365 cloud. We had a change project for this, because it's not a technical project, it's a change of the behavior of all colleagues in our company. And so as we started, we thought, what is Teams? What can we do with Teams? Chatting? Oh, is this really something we need? So we tried it for our project as project management cockpit. So eat your own dog food. So then we learned about Teams, what it is, what it can be for our colleagues, and we showed our colleagues how we work with Teams, integrated with Planner and file sharing and something like that. And they imitated it. And so there was the wave of Teams, and more departments wanted to take part of this. This was the first side, but the other side is it is really a game-changing product for us. We have about 2,500 stores in Germany, and with 25,000 frontline workers in there, and we gave them all mobile phones. And as a new mobile data terminal, and these mobile phones were the foundation for communication in the stores. So they have a personalized device, and they can be logged in, personalized in Office 365. And before we had that, our colleagues used WhatsApp to chat. And now with Teams, we have a corporate tool for communication for them, and so they are using it at a cashier desk to chat to a colleague who's standing in the warehouse. Do we have some lipsticks over there? Or they are making phone calls to other stores, and this was really a game-changing tool for communication about the whole company. So
that's really incredible. So you have 25,000 people that are using Microsoft Teams today.
No, about 40,000. We are a company with 13 countries in Europe.
Okay.
Our headquarters in Germany. All about Europe, about 40,000 first-line workers and 50,000 colleagues together with the internal users. Yeah.
Yeah. So so you're a front runner in a lot of ways, right? Because like this year we announced it earlier a few days ago that one of the areas we're going to go look at was frontline workers. And so the fact that you're already deploying it and using it in this configuration is amazing. We also hear a lot from customers that they're concerned about data flowing over WhatsApp, for example, because they're not quite sure about the security and the compliance about that. So the fact that you've moved to that is super interesting. Is anybody else working on frontline worker sort of integration, or is that a topic that anyone else is considering in their companies?
Yeah, I think we have a pretty traditional frontline workers at the moment with shared accounts and so on, but we are definitely looking into giving them their own accounts and just trying to use Teams as their tool as well.
That's great. And what are some of in your mind, what are some of the problems or the advantages to giving them those tools?
Problems right now, or
problems that they might be facing that you would want to give them Teams for.
Okay, yeah. So, like you said, WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, just very old ways of having file sharing and so on. So it's just the whole collaboration platform. Yeah.
That's great. Pune, so you're sorry, surprise. So you're at Microsoft. You work in Microsoft IT.
Yes.
And I know that there's a rollout going out because I sometimes get email from MSIT saying, "Hey, you should move to Teams," and I'm like, "If only you knew." So could you tell us a little bit about how that's going and sort of what your experience is with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we just came from a session that we did on our Teams upgrade. So we have 3 different tracks kind of going for our Teams upgrade. As Mark said, we have some users. We have about 24,000 users out of over 224,000 users on Teams-only mode. We have a strategy where we're rolling it out by organization, and specifically because we wanted to keep the collaboration experience together, as well as we have 14,000 conference rooms at Microsoft to upgrade. So it was really important to get the upgrade of the conference rooms, as well as get the Teams Outlook plugin rolled out once the conference rooms were ready, and then begin the Teams upgrade. So we kind of have 3 different tracks happening, but it's going very well. We have 87,000 users on the Teams Outlook plugin, 24,000 on the upgrade. So we're continuing to roll out. Our hope is to get everyone upgraded by calendar year. So yeah, we're excited. It's going well.
That's great. What are some of the, I mean, I don't know if all of you have rolled out Microsoft Teams already within your organizations, but what were some of the challenges that you faced in that process? Like for other people that are considering this now, like which things should they be thinking about as they start?
For us, actually we met a few technical issues because all our colleagues in the retail stores are using Teams right now. They also need access to a very fast and available internet. And in the past, we didn't actually have wireless LAN in the warehouse. So for us, it was also a process to talk to the network administrators and make sure that wireless LAN or access to the network is available where our colleagues are actually working.
Another issue was actually with SharePoint. A lot of people already had Teams SharePoint sites. And when you create a team, it creates that SharePoint site, that group, and everything like that. So enabling that SharePoint site wasn't really an option. So that was a pain point of what site do I really use, and how do I utilize this tool, a Team SharePoint site, in comparison to my current Team SharePoint site that I've already created.
So just before, how do you overcome that?
So at the time, what we were doing was migrating a lot of people actually to the new Teams SharePoint site. And so when we created a team, created their SharePoint site within Teams, then we would actually migrate them over. But it sounds like that there's actually a tool coming out for that. So, yeah.
Just wanted to talk about, I guess, adoption, and part of that was definitely training and communicating the message that there was going to be one preferred chat tool, because there are a lot of collaboration tool sprawl at our company as well. And the Teams was going to be that preferred chat tool. So everybody that's using Skype for Business, we communicated the message that you're going to have confidence that you're going to be able to contact anybody in the company on Teams once we do the upgrade. And then we went through a training program to show everybody what those sort of basic Skype for Business features, the one-to-one chat and booking meetings, and what that looked like in Teams, so that they were comfortable. Of course, Teams brings a whole lot more that we're going to want to communicate to them as well, but I want to just make sure that people that are using Skype for Business are going to be comfortable with the transition kind of day one.
That's huge.
Curtis, you said SharePoint, and this is the good point. Before we had Teams, of course we had a SharePoint on-prem server, and you all know SharePoint is a box with a lot of features, and normally our customers do not use them. They just drag and drop files from a filer to SharePoint, and so they even don't like it. And with Teams, it's so easy to generate a new team, collaborate, and in the background there's SharePoint. Nobody knows it, and that's very good. So the adoption process is really good. They we have here a file share, something where I can put my files, and yeah, it's OneDrive. Oh, cool, OneDrive, a new tool. Yeah, it's a SharePoint document library, but we're not talking about it. And until then, before we had Teams, we had a approval process to when you start a project, you want to have a new SharePoint team site, a project team site. So we have built a process to get these sites, and this doesn't make sense anymore. when you create a new team in Teams or in Yammer or anywhere else, you always get a SharePoint site. And so we thought, how could we handle that? Actually, we're developing a flow which automatically creates the teams with a specific project number and build in an agenda solution based on Power Apps integrated in Teams. And so Teams now is a very fancy single point of collaboration, and mostly the people in my team mostly using Teams more than Outlook. So, and it all comes together. And even if you want to use a SharePoint for presentation, for the auto loop or something like that, you can integrate it. You can integrate everything, and that's amazing.
We had there was a sort of a GPM in Teams that used to do these, Dan Stevenson, and one of his favorite lines was like, you know, the best thing about Teams is that like there's a fantastic SharePoint interface, which is just Teams, and you don't have to worry about SharePoint anymore. But you know, having said that, like there was a lot of announcements this week about how we're actually bringing SharePoint a lot closer into Teams, and all the file views and everything else where people have actually invested a lot of time and energy now end up, you know, being projected into that view. Is that something that is going to be useful to your companies? Is that something that will be helpful? Oh, look at that.
yeah, let me think about that.
Honesty. You can say no, it's okay.
No. One of our decisions when we started to roll out Office 365 to our organization was we had an on-premise development going on. We developed our own web applications and web parts, and one of the main decisions was we're going to stop doing that. We, as an organization, are not able to keep up the pace with all the features Microsoft is rolling out for Teams and all the other services in Office 365. So we stopped developing our own stuff or going strictly with the features the Office 365 is giving us.
Great, and that's working out for you so far?
That's working to a certain amount, yeah. Actually, yeah, we have one requirement, an agenda tool for meetings, and this was a feature our users were so used to, and it's been requested so often that we said, okay, how can we provide the user with this agenda feature? And we turned over to Power Apps, and now we're building Power Apps to do just so, and we cut cost quite on an amazing scale and on a speed from development. And yeah, looking forward to deploy it probably next month or so. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I hope so too.
That's great. Did you want to talk a little bit about sort of what you guys are doing with Teams and how that's working as well?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, Charlie. So we're a manufacturing company, currently moving to Teams as fast as we can. Frankly, just about all of the users that have seen it and used it love it, and pulling us as fast as we are willing to go. So as far as SharePoint and a lot of the integration questions, it just simplifies the whole experience, which doesn't matter to some of us, especially the power users or whatnot. We're used to SharePoint, we're used to Skype or Outlook or whatnot. But for the vast majority of our users, which are manufacturing users, Teams really does simplify the whole experience. So, you know, we were discussing out in the hall what new skills or whatnot do we need to learn. Our end users just pick it up, and it's very intuitive, and they can get to their files just like they're used to in Windows Explorer in this fashion and whatnot. And then those that want to dig deeper, they find it, right?
So actually, that's another interesting point, which is like, has it been a big sort of cultural change in your organization moving to Teams at all? So I mean, has there been a lot of user education that you've had to do, or you know, any processes you put in place to get people to really drive adoption and get it bootstrapped and up and running? And what might those be? Like,
I feel like you're looking at me.
Well, I'm sorry, you're like practically in front of me. So yes, Marvin, please tell us.
You browsed on the question what kind of skills they needed to get to be able to work proficiently in Teams, and I think what we've found is that it's not so much what they need to learn, but what they need to unlearn. So they need to move away from old ways of working in terms of what tools they're using. And instead, because the Teams itself is so intuitive and easy to use, that you don't really need to learn it. You don't need to teach it to them on how to work with it, which is really cool.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. I love that. That's
But we did do a lot of teaching as well.
Okay.
on some group.
But we didn't need it.
So we did a lot of like auditorium sessions that was held in Teams, so users would actually practice being part of Teams as well in Teams meetings. And we're still doing like group sessions. So we have pretty much one group session every day still, and we had for 6 months. So a lot of group sessions.
Thank you. So I want to share a story because, you know, coming to Microsoft, I've been at Microsoft for a year, and my perception was when I came is that everyone's going to use Teams when we were given Teams because it was Microsoft's product. And so one of the things that was really surprising for me was adoption and training and getting our users to love Teams. We're in end user services engineering, and so we really wanted to do something different, you know, about rolling out a product. So we spent actually quite amount of time building a champion community. We have over 600 champions in our community globally that help us roll out Teams, that help train on Teams. Not that it's required, but just to get everyone really to love Teams, because as we were moving away from Skype for Business, it became so important to make sure that all the features of chat, calling, meetings, collaboration were easy there. And so it was like that misconception of what to use when, it became super easy and super flawless. And so for us, we actually spent quite amount of time. We've developed L100 training for our users, introductions to Teams. We've built L200 training, a little bit more advanced in understanding how the structure, governance, working with organizations. We have snackable videos that we've created. And all these great tools that we've built are available to our customers also for teamwork toolkits that we have. But you know, it was actually very surprising for me. I came from the outside, and I had a completely different experience, you know, coming in, because I loved Microsoft products, and that's why I was here. And so I was actually pretty surprised. And it's been a great journey for us as we're continuing our rollout. But yeah, I think you guys would be surprised. You know, if you talk to some of the Microsofties, they wouldn't say that it was easy to use. But we love it, right?
I will say also that like MSIT has been an amazing partner rolling it out to all teams. Like as the engineering team, like we use product every day. We're very familiar with it. But the amount of feedback that we started getting from people as we're rolling out was like really great, right? And we were able to adapt the product and try to fix some of those issues as they came up. But yeah, I mean, I expect that happens all the time.
We also spend a lot of time in the adoption process for our teams. Of course, it's self-explaining. The app is self-explaining. It works like WhatsApp, so everybody understands. But the desktop app has so many features and connectors, and when you use them, it's for some people too much to learn. We have young apprentices and people barely retarded, and so they with different IT understanding. So we have to lead them. So we started with small videos about 1 or 2 minutes, hosted on stream, of course. Handouts, power user workshops, and so on. And this is very important. But in fact, it's not the technology to teach them, because they could learn it, but they have to adapt it. So we have to find the use cases from the colleagues. How do they work? What are their problems? Do they still use one big Excel file, or do they send emails with attachments? through the whole content. What are the pains from our colleagues, and then find a solution with Teams. This is the really, for us, the best way to get Teams running in the company.
Absolutely. Does anybody else have there is a cultural change that has to take place when you adopt a collaboration tool, and so to your point, those use cases, those situations in which people are going to start using it. Have you all been able to find scenarios that have taken off really quickly, or examples where people have been able to really adopt the tool and start making use of it in its best way?
I would say at Trek, a lot of the conversation has been talking with the departments, the department managers, how they want to now reorganize their content, what channels should they create. So our customer service department globally jumped on Teams right away. And they initially had 3 separate teams, one for warranty repair, one for customer care issues, one for tech questions. And they quickly kind of redesigned that and brought it all into one team. But having those ongoing conversations about what are your goals? I know this is how you've done it in the past on SharePoint. Where are your other channels of communication? How can we sort of talk through how to design that? That the technology itself is, a little bit self-explanatory, but how to organize your own content, that's a tougher conversation to have, and it's not always obvious right away just by looking at the tool how to do that.
Yeah. So
Could I just elaborate on that?
absolutely.
What we did was that we started out small. We did just the basics in the teams, and the team started to use those features. And eventually, they discovered all the capabilities that they had in the program or in the software. So we didn't force them on into using all of it, and that certainly helped. Then they were proficient in the simple facts first, and then moved on to the other ones.
We had one story from our stores. When we started to roll out, we told them it's a chat. You can chat with your colleagues, and we knew there's the telephone functionality in there. And the colleagues, however, they found it quite fast, even though we didn't really tell them so. And what we experienced is that they used the feature as a kind of walkie-talkie. And we didn't expect that, actually, so yeah.
So what was the context for that? They're out and about or in stores or something like that?
They're using it at stores, like somebody's at front at the register and can't get out there because he's serving customers and needs to talk to somebody in the warehouse. So it just pulls out Teams. Could you please come up front? I need help. So.
That's really awesome. That's really cool to hear that. It's really neat to see organic uses. We certainly wouldn't have designed it that way originally, and to see it be picked up and used that way is really exciting. It's great.
Actually, Microsoft also told us when they looked at our data, how we use the phone functionality. It seemed like there was an error because they couldn't actually believe the way we use it, because the calls are only one direction and about 10 seconds. So until they told them, no, you're looking at valid data, that's actually the way they're using it.
It is okay to talk back on the other line.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be one way. Yeah, okay. So has anybody else been working with calling as well? I mean, I know Microsoft has a area around there. Do you want to talk about what that deployment has looked like, or how that's been moved?
So sure. So around calling, we talked a little bit about our deployment strategy, right? Part of that strategy is, identifying eligible and ineligible users, right? And so having the right users in the right locations. There are some ineligibility requirements, as you may know, due to users having to be online, cloud PSTN, cloud calling, cloud conferencing available in certain countries. So for us, again, identifying these users that are eligible and then rolling out these features by these organizations and having calling be available to them. But yeah, and so until we do, we remain in side-by-side mode. So we have the islands mode where we're using Skype for calling, and then we use Teams for collaboration for countries that don't have it. But other people, as we're migrating everyone or upgrading them to Teams only, they use the Teams calling features. So we love it, though. I like the one.
We're complete opposite. So we're pretty vanilla.
That's okay. No worries.
There you go. Is that better?
It's all good.
So we are all 100% online. We don't have any calling, and other than the one-to-one chat in the Teams meeting. So pretty basic, pretty easy for us, right? They hit the little phone call thing and it works, right? So.
Are folks? Hey, I don't know what your deployments look like exactly, but are you using the meeting capability in addition to some of the collaboration in the chat? And how is that working out? Is that?
I still have the mic, so I'm going to answer that. So
you should answer that question. You have the mic.
Yeah. So the meeting experience far superior to what Skype, both quality, audio, video quality, but just the entire experience for our company. Has vastly improved, right? We do a lot of video meetings on purpose, right? We're very geographically dispersed, so it is the way that we build relationships amongst our teams. So our leadership encourages it. So once Teams came out and you saw the difference between Teams and then the little tiny Skype, it was amazing.
I represent a program within our company that consists of 200 individuals spread into 20-odd teams. And for us to be able to communicate, and we're also on 3 different sites, 2 of them on the west coast of Sweden and 1 being on the main office on the east coast. And what we've done is that we've established a concept which we call Speaker's Corner. And we have a corner in our office on the west coast where we broadcast to the other offices using Teams, and of course to anyone that isn't able to be in the room. And we use the recording sessions so that if you're not able at that specific moment, you can watch it later and so on. The chat is used as to distribute questions from those that aren't in the room, and so it's working beautifully. And we didn't really have a template for how to use that. We came up with it on our own, and basically from Teams we created this Speaker's Corner concept.
And so how does that? What does that mean? So Speaker's Corner is just open all the time and people can come in, or is that you're actually using it as a broadcasting information across your company?
The original idea was that it was going to be an open mic session, so that you just turn it on and anyone could walk up there and pick up the mic and start.
I love that.
Do a demo or just tell someone about the news. And also it could work as a communication between the different offices without actually having to call someone and so on. But what we noticed was that you still need to invite people to this session to get a solid amount of spectators. So later on we decided that we were going to have planned sessions. We meet up once every 3 months, everyone, all 200 of us, in big room sessions. But if we were to do that and then do all the stuff that we needed to do during those the big room sessions, then we would have to be there for 3-4 days. So what we've done now is that we have, leading up to the big room, we have like 10 Speaker Corner sessions where we go through the details that they need to know before they come to the event later on. So it's a series of Teams meetings that we have.
It's almost like you're having a series of events that you're putting on and just getting people to sign in and sort of catch up on. That's really cool.
Yeah, and we on the other end of the other sites, you have like a main screen where they're watching it if they are not sat by their client computer.
Yeah. So I mean that's a really creative use of Teams. Have other people adopted it in other ways that are sort of unique and maybe not expected, or?
We were never really using Skype broadcast before, so when the Team Live events came available like 3 months ago, we started adopting that and was able to convince some of the leaders that were speaking at those events that, hey, we want to have this available as a recording that somebody in another country, another time zone can watch at a different time. Is that going to be okay? And we actually got the okay to do that. So we've been having really pretty good success the last couple months, having both engineering and IT have their all team meetings hosted on live events. So that's been pretty good success.
You've been using all those really cool features with like the producers and the presenters and being able to mix up the videos and all
Yeah,
that.
and then you host it in a large conference room, and we always do dry runs with the presenters, and we make sure that we kind of understand the technology of it and where's the audio source coming from, and if you want to play a video, are people going to be able to hear it remotely and in the room? And there's kind of some technical issues to work through on that, but it's doable. And it's working. So
Yeah, it's in preview. So I mean, we're certainly working on it and,
Sure.
and improving it as we go. But I'm super excited about that. Like the ability to reach 10,000 people in a single broadcast is really cool. Kind of rounds out the entire meeting experience. So let's see. Let's ask a few more questions. I'm kind of really off script. But Carol, I don't know. Were there any other considerations that you had as you kind of planned to go to Teams, or as you're looking at transitioning your company to Teams?
I don't think that there were, I mean, it's ongoing, I'm going to say. Like, this has been a project that has been going on for quite some time. So we're still in it. The considerations are always changing as we roll along with the product. That's one thing that's challenging, and I don't mean challenging in a negative way, how people usually say challenging, but it's really challenging that and exciting that the product is always changing. So there's always new features, new things to be considering and rolling out to our end users, and new things for us to be learning. So I did want to touch on just a personal note that I come from a pretty old-fashioned Avaya shop world, very siloed, very telephony-oriented. VoIP was a big challenge, like just getting into that network world. And it's really been a challenge for me to learn about a whole new world where now I'm touching on AD, Azure, desktop engineering, headsets as always, but such a new world. And I've started relying on things like Microsoft Mechanics, podcasts, learning from my colleagues. Curtis has been a great resource. So it's been a real journey from an IT perspective for me as well. I was a little rambling, but that's right.
No, it's great.
We made the same experience. Normally, before Office 365, we had every 3 years a new version of SharePoint or the new version of the Office client. And when we made a project, roll out the client, and that's it for the next 3 years. Some bug fixes, some hot fixes, but that's it. And now Microsoft has this evergreen thing. every 4 weeks, every 2 weeks, every day, some updates are coming, and we are not finding one single place where we find all these updates and when they are coming. And when they are coming, we get a message in our admin center, so we are starting rolling out, but we do not know when this update will finally reach our tenant. And this is one big problem where Microsoft could be a little bit more transparent for the customer. And then because of the massive new features, we have to monitor it and decide, is this feature valuable for us? Can we turn it off at first? Or is this feature something interesting for security or for the GDPR or something like that? So we have a lot of to do to monitor these. Is it a self-explaining feature? Is there a green button in SharePoint? So it doesn't matter. But if the search experience is completely new, we have to update our videos in time. We have to have a new round for power user workshops and so on. And this is really not a problem, but it's a challenge. Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, I mean, the Teams is an entirely different deployment model than what Microsoft has traditionally offered, right? So we are rolling out builds every week, every 2 weeks. Like it's coming out, lots of features, lots of fixes, and it's high velocity. And so I imagine that that's actually really challenging. So I mean, I'd love to hear from people of like how how challenging is it? And because I need to be able to relay that to people, but also like how do you overcome that? Is what would be helpful to you from Microsoft that maybe we could do better to help you in those contexts too?
Actually, you forgot the cherry top about the challenges, because we're also talking about the app stores from iOS and Android. So they got different rollout phases as well. So it just gets a little bit complicated.
Yeah, it does.
So when we first looked at Teams, I would, from a technical standpoint, it was our client team that pushed back the hardest. I think on behalf of the network team, because of the approach to updating the client. So I don't think there is an easy answer. We are pushing the client to every desktop, but once they get an update, they're going to go to the internet, right? So that's still, I think, still ultimately a concern. But at least what we've found is, for the vast majority of it's worth it at this point, knowing that, whether it's a month or 2 months or whatever, something will evolve and we'll be able to control it a little bit more. And we didn't want that to hold us back from a deployment standpoint, because we valued the tool enough that we thought it would improve collaboration and customer experience and whatnot, that we decided, hey, let's just do this anyway. We did the initial push out to the desktops, and then we'll just deal with a little bit of pain for ultimately a better user experience.
Yeah, it's been, from an engineering standpoint, at least working on the team, I can tell you that it's been transformational too, our ability to respond to customer asks. So I used to work on Skype for Business for a little while, and we had a feature, it was like consultative transfer that we were developing, and so this was a huge ask from the field. Like, people really, really wanted this feature, and it took us like a quarter to go develop it, and then it would take us a quarter to get it sort of through, well, we do design first, collect requirements and everything else, and then we do another quarter of work on top of that to actually get the development done, and then we put it into the Office release train, and 6 months later it would pop out and everybody would eventually get it. And it would be like a year goes by while the feature is being developed, and so it's been really transformational being able to get a response and act on it and have it shipped like quickly, right? And it's just it's such an agile way of working, and I don't know. I think it's been, hopefully on par, it's been, or on average, it's been good for the customers too. So we try to be responsive, and that's just me ad-libbing. So, but you want to hear about me? Why don't we talk about some other things? So another thing that I guess I want to see is, so for other companies that are, and maybe we covered this a little bit already, and maybe it's time to open up on the mics, but if you were to give like one word of advice to another, and I'd love to hear from all of you, but to another company about how they should think about embarking on transferring sort of their current workload from SFB into Teams, like what would that key piece of advice be to them?
All right, I'll go first since I have the mic. Oh, no, you go. All right, so plan, but don't over-plan. No plan's going to be perfect, right? Don't wait. The tool is amazing.
Change management. Just make sure that you're thinking about change management for a company. I think that we all underestimate how much people hate change, don't like change, don't really want to engage in change when they're trying to do their day job. Ultimately, this will make their lives easier. I'm a big believer in that, but it will take some time to convince people.
I say also change. We have a slogan, sounds like, the speed of change must always be lower than the speed of adoption. So many of our colleagues do not want to use a new tool. They want to do their job, and they need a tool to gain something, to do their jobs to be done. That's it in the end. And Teams is not the only new tool in the digital transformation. Then other vendors, SAP and something. Every time we have new updates, and there's so much technology they have to work with, and Teams and Office 365 is only one part of the whole, and so we have to sometimes to slow down a little bit and spend more time in information and this transformation process.
So I'm a PT Pro guy, so I would more consult on the technical issues of Team. And for me, there are actually three parts of a foundation where you have to get it straight. First would be check that your authentication system is working, that you got multi-factor authentication going for you, and also single sign-on with the devices the users are actually working with. The other is actually the device, that your device management is set up, that you can keep track of the devices, but on the other hand, that the devices you're actually using are also capable to run the software you're deploying on there. And the third thing is probably most important, what I've heard a statement you just made is network, because in the past, network was also the department that keeps security under the lock, because in the past 30 years, we had all the companies had this castle and moat set up. We got a perimeter, we got the inside, that's everything safe, nice and cozy, and then there's bad internet out there. But these rules just don't work anymore. We got a zero trust architecture going on, because all the services we're accessing are actually not in our network anymore. So we have to make sure that the access to the service is working and that the route to the service is being secured. And this is a completely change of mindset, and that will take time. There are new challenges for the IT Pro guys, but you'll get there.
I would recommend to just get the basics right at first before you started with the change management network and everything that's been said before. But also don't wait too long, because otherwise they will find other tools and go with the shadow IT. So
from the user perspective, I would say that you should keep it open. Don't force anyone. You'll sooner than you think you'll have a critical mass anyway, so that eventually no one's going to be able to stay on the old solution that you had, if it's WhatsApp or Slack, or if it's Skype for Business.
I would say collaborate. You really start a new, and especially in the IT world, deploying Skype and Link was a little bit different of collaboration. This is a whole new level of collaboration, really understanding who you're working with in your organizations. And so that's kind of, it's really opening up, that communication back and forth between the IT, especially pro IT, and back to your end users.
So I'll give you one technical and one non-technical. From the technical side, make sure you get the bits on every Mac and every PC. So Skype will install automatically if you're with Office Pro Plus, and there's ways you can configure it to download Teams. But getting that deployment, we did it with SCCM and with Jamf, so that when the PC boots up, it's going to launch Teams, and they're gonna know they have it on their PC. And the second thing is, I think what Carol talked about is get the champions. Identify some champions in the business that you can work with one-on-one, sit down, walk them through the product, get them to buy in, get them to see how they could use it in their area. And that really drove organic growth for us more than anything. And having people buy into, they're going to be gaining advantages by using this product. Better desktop sharing with Mac, file sharing like they never had before, because maybe they've got an old version of Windows with an outdated OneDrive client and who knows whatever else. And now they've got up-to-date software. So yeah, get those champions and get the bits on people's PCs.
Sure. As far as for us, I think you guys all did a great job touching on everything. But value proposition, obviously, very, very important. Making sure your users understand the value, right? For us, it was all about the end user, trying to have them try another tool. So how does this impact my productivity? How can it make my day-to-day better? That was really important to us. progress, not perfection. That's something we're all learning today, right? We work so closely. We're so fortunate that we work closely with the product engineers, and we love the agile methodology that we're using because we really see the value. We work with them. We find bugs. We're early adopters, and they help deploy it, which for us is amazing. Like to me, that's like the most powerful thing. And thirdly, it's just about simplifying this whole experience for the user, right? We talk about these goals that we have, but making it a simple experience so that it's intuitive. Just like it is intuitive for you to pick up a phone, let's make Teams intuitive that it just becomes natural. Let me use it as a walkie-talkie. Let me use it as call. Whatever becomes natural to the user, that's what makes it powerful. So that's what I think is important for us.
Yeah, and I guess I get one other tip, at least that we see in our data, is that if you can encourage your users to start using mobile and using it and installing it on their phone, it becomes a really, really sticky and fast adoption as well. So it's a really great way of getting more engagement and getting people using it on a day-to-day basis because it's all right there. So we have some time left, but I would love to open it up to folks who are here, and if we have mics, so please come on up and ask some questions. Oh, yes.
Hey.
Hello,
Great.
hello. Hey. Do any of you use Yammer? And where are you seeing as the challenges of communication, giving people what to use when, private Yammer groups versus teams? Feels like a big Pandora's box to me.
Yes, we do. We use Yammer. Yammer was the first tool we introduced in our company. And then later on, we had Teams, because in the beginning we did not know what Teams really is. And then we hear the questions when to use what very often. And when you browse the internet, you will find a lot of companies who made fancy decision trees and bar charts and when to use what. When you ask Microsoft, normally you get the answer, it depends, or they are talking about inner loops and outer loops. The inner loop and outer loop thing works for an IT guy. Normally he understands, but 80% of our colleagues do not understand this. So we found a way to explain how to use it with use cases our customer would understand, and we made a simple 2-minute video about it. So where we explain when you are in a product team and you want to talk about your say something about the new product, you can paste it in the outer loop in Yammer, and you can get feedback, and so you can talk with, communicate borderless with colleagues you even don't know. But when you're in a small team, you work together and you know the team, you have a faster conversation, then you could use Teams. So for us it worked really good to just make a little video and not long documentation or in fact, really it depends how you want to work, but some colleagues just need more guidance.
So, I have a comment and then a question comment. So, the easiest way I explain it is OneDrive is me, Teams is us, and Yammer or SharePoint is everyone. It's the easiest way to explain it, and you get out of the conversation within 2 seconds. But the other thing, so a creative way that we've used Teams is a live charity auction that just happened last week, and we had our entire New York office did it. They raised $20,000 for charity using Teams meetings and a team and a public team. What are some of the creative ways you guys have used Teams?
So this might have been a candidate for Yammer, but we did start, I work for Hitachi Vantara, and we did start Pets of Hitachi. So we have a Teams board for pets, And even though I don't have a pet, I'm there every day because the stuff people put out there and the comments that they make are just hysterical. And when you do listen to some Microsoft podcasts about Teams adoptions, they do talk about things like unique opportunities to use Teams. That's a great opportunity. Things like pets, anything that gets people talking is a great way to promote adoption.
I mentioned the customer service team, and they have a lot of, I'd say, under 25-year-old employees. So the memes and GIFs were flowing everywhere, and I think the managers saw that the business value was a little questionable off some of that. So they created a channel just called Meme Metropolis, and that's where all the happy birthday GIFs go. That's where all that stuff goes, and that kind of just helped bring some of the more fun responses kind of into a place that, collapsed the noise in one area.
That's so cool. I love hearing the fact that like it's not only just a communication tool, but you're actually building culture at the same time, right?
Yeah, and I think it's just that team has 75, 80 people on it, so the nature of the conversation can't be maybe as interpersonal as a small department of 5 or 6 people. So yeah, they just needed to make it a little more professional, and that's the way they did it.
Really do not underestimate the possibility to use GIFs and stickers. The people love it. It brightens up every conversation.
Yeah, maybe not as exciting as Meme Metropolis, but as our teams became more globally dispersed, they really use it as their pod that you used to find, right? Everybody just worked in the same corner of the office or whatnot. So one of my colleagues used the general channel just for like that water cooler talk, right? It's the memes, the GIFs. It's hey, it's the happy birthdays, and then that's what they use other channels for the more, I don't know, serious conversations. So.
For on-prem, anybody that started out on-prem, I haven't heard Exchange mentioned really at all. So did Exchange cause any issues, slow you down, anything like that?
I need only one. We have a great issue with Exchange because Exchange is the last tool we are moving to the cloud. And Exchange connects everything in a special way in the Office 365 toolbox. So we should have started with Exchange because it took so long to put all the mailboxes online with all the dependencies to other systems. So we're nearly finished with our completely rollout to the cloud, but Exchange is still missing. So the next step for us is for the frontline workers, they get for the first time the mailbox, their personalized mailbox, and then we migrate from desktop workers the mailboxes, and then when everything is in the cloud, it really fits together. So the most issues are not coming from Exchange itself, because they come from the missing Exchange Online, you know. So.
Now we have a hybrid setup, so it's already hybrid. But even if it's you got this setup, you have to deal with this special situation. So what you probably want to do when you move to the cloud is move the mailboxes first, move Exchange first, and then roll out all other services. But this, now we're coming back to it depends. It depends on the size of your organization. For us, why we choose this way is going on the pace. How do we roll out the tools? Because Exchange is causing for us actually so much trouble because it's so deeply integrated into every single on-premise system we're running, and that are quite a few. We are really going on the long term here. So we decided we're going to do this for last because we knew this is going to take us the longest. and we didn't want the users to wait until we got all the technical issues done. So we decided, yeah, we're going to give them Yammer, we're going to give them Team, and everything what we're able to give them yet, even though we know they might not harness all features.
Our company sells insurance, and we have a lot of entities, companies that we work with that resell our services. And ever since we went Open Federation 3 years ago, it kind of became the pseudo standard for support for those outside entities. Do any of you have use cases around external communications, and how do you overcome that with teams?
We're Open Federation as well at Trek. And we've brought guests into Teams. I think there's some limitations about whether they can book a meeting or something like that, but it's been working fairly well. We're not doing active support for our dealer network through that platform. That's not something, we have a point of sale system we sell. I think they've got their own tools for that.
This was outside of conferences, just simple IM sessions.
Yeah, simple IM sessions. This was our bike sharing company was working with a firmware developer on the other side of the globe. And so we brought in 4 individuals from that company, and they were able to, collaborate on share the meetings, share the files, share the conversations that were related to that project.
Maybe I misunderstand. Both of our TMs for our company have to stay on Skype for Business because a Federation doesn't work inside Teams?
Federation should work in Teams. So it should work certainly Teams to Teams online, and also Teams to
Teams or Teams to Skype?
And Teams to Skype for Business online, and also Teams to Skype for Business on-prem. So the only thing that's missing for Federation right now is shared presence between Teams and Skype for Business on-prem, but that's coming.
What about XMPP?
That I don't know. No.
Right.
Sorry. I haven't heard anyone directly mention governance. How do you prevent team sprawl so that users are a member of so many teams that they become frustrated to even use it?
We've left it open, self-service, create as many teams as you want. But we did publish and made it very well known to those sort of champions our naming standards document. So that helps, and then we identify them. We've renamed some teams. I didn't want to get in the way. If somebody wants to spin up a team to share conversation, share files, I want them to just go and move as fast as they can and not have the barrier of having to submit a form and wait for IT, the help desk, to do something. That's the choice we made. There are controls, and I mean, they were talked about them in a lot of sessions, where you can preface a team with a prefix if you want. The Office 365 groups can have that. You can control the creation and lock that down if that's something you want. But we haven't chosen to do that.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of controls that are built right into Teams too to help you manage that exact problem. So like you can set expiration dates on Teams, and those teams, when that date approaches, the owners will be notified. If they don't renew, it gets soft deleted for 30 days, and then it gets hard deleted after that. So you can kind of clean up your environment automatically so you don't end up with too much sprawl if there are things that are really not useful, right? But on the other hand, like to your point, if people are creating teams and they're finding value in doing that, then you have to ask yourself, like, is that something you want to get in the way of, or is that something that you want to encourage?
And full disclosure, I mean, there's probably 17 groups, Office 365 groups, that have the word marketing in them. It's not perfect because a Power BI workspace created an Office 365 group, and Yammer at some point created Office 365 groups along with other teams that were there, and then their classic SharePoint site. So I mean, there is some of that, and you'll get the manager in marketing. I want to be able to share this document with everybody in marketing. Can you help me with that? And that's not always the easiest thing to. So if you get some dynamic groups that can be created and derived from an attribute in your HRIS system, get that in early and get those groups there as early as you can. Then they can be leveraged for modern SharePoint sites, team sites, and teams.
Yeah, so with Azure Active Directory now, with like dynamic groups, what you can do is go ahead and define different attributes. So you could say everybody who's in marketing will be assigned to a particular team, right? And everybody who's in sales might be in a different one, or engineering is in a different one. And if somebody moves between different groups in the company, then their Active Directory attributes get updated, and all their permissions just flow, right? So they might lose access to things that they were accessing from their previous team, but now they're accessing everything that they need for their new team. So there's a lot of management tools that exist, and we're constantly looking for new ways of making it easier and easier to manage all that content.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, so mine's actually just to tack on to that. So if you were talking about the 16 different marketing groups, and we're already seeing a lot of instances where there's these duplicate groups and some of the content, and we know that there's content in those specific groups or the channels underneath those groups that are not being used only just by manually looking at them. Is there going to be, or have you guys looked at ways to say, we're recognizing that no one's looked at the content here, no one's been part of this content here. I know you can set expiration, but unless you know to do so, it becomes one of those things where I wonder if you've had to deal with that and what you've done to solve the problem.
Have not solved the problem. I think other than make it very clear to Microsoft that that we would love to have the ability to reorganize teams, combine channels, things like that. So, you know, it'd be great to see some features like that come.
That's great feedback. See what we can do.
So this will tag on to the last two questions. So you've got 17 marketing teams.
I haven't counted them, but yeah, it's
hypothetically, and just a little different from the last gentleman's, they're all active. So from a knowledge management sort of trying to roll this up into a center of excellence, an authoritative source, someone's new to the organization, they want to find the authoritative source for marketing guidance or whatever, or they're just trying to tag into an authoritative group, and we're trying to reduce duplication and variance. How does that all work if we let them go organic with not a lot of...
I'll add in that some of those, if in certain places in Office 365, if you type marketing, you also see Outlook, for example, distribution lists. So, you know, I think I was in a session today where they were saying, hey, if we can get distribution lists migrated to Office 365 groups, you help with eliminating some of that there. I don't know, somebody else, maybe if there's a strategy you've had to work on that?
For us, yeah. No, I would return the question: how did the users do it in the past with WhatsApp? You know, from my experience, the people do talk to each other even if they use WhatsApp. So if somebody needs to be added to a certain group, to say, hey, well, what group are you on? Could you add me? So, and somebody just pull them in and they pop up on Teams, just like they would do on WhatsApp. Give me your email address, I add you to the group.
That requires a little bit of connections, right, in the old boy network to kind of make that, right?
That's a possibility, yeah.
Hey, what a great idea. So but it's also a little Darwinian, isn't it? I mean, there'll be groups that'll spin up, and over time, maybe they're really not where all the critical decisions are being made. So people will move their conversations over to the ones that are needed, and gradually, you know, you can kind of get rid of the dross or the.
So I'm testing the theory a little bit. In another session, I asked the same question, and the answer I got there was, for those authoritative sources, you really ought to be pushing that up into sort of your Yammer feeds where the content would exist, and that would be more of the authoritative source. And if you kind of informed your folks, that's going to contain the knowledge, that's going to be self-governed, self-correcting, things like that, then the teams. But I was just curious as to what the rest of the group was thinking. Thank you.
Yeah, just question around kind of success measures. I'm not sure if that's a duplicate question, but did you guys set any, you know, revenue expectations or targets, you know, that, you know, was driven from, you know, deploying teams? Or what was just your overall, you know, goals and what you wanted to achieve with it?
Yeah, so no. But from an overall goal, I mean, for us, it was just improved collaboration, right? Make the end user experience that much better. I can't speak to maybe the retailers or whatnot. So we're more of a business to business type customer. But
I had the metric that would show me how many Outlook attachments.
Yeah.
I had the metric that showed me how many Outlook attachments were sent per day. That's what I would be tracking.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess as far as just customer experience, did it help in any respects around just overall customer, delivery of, products or services, or how you're supporting your, your
Customers experience meaning like your users to your customers?
correct? Yeah.
I was about to answer the previous question, but I was about to answer your previous question. When we started out with digital transformation in our company, we decided that we needed to seriously look into what our culture was supposed to be like. And we identified that all the tools that we had to communicate, none of them gave us the ability to successfully deploy that culture until we had Teams. So if you're looking for a metric, that's what we're really looking for, is what kind of culture do we have today compared to what we had before. Sorry, you had another question. I sort of veered back. But
I have a question. Did I understand right? You want to know how Teams helps our colleagues to engage the customer experience or some? Yeah, absolutely. So in frontline, for frontline workers, before Teams and before mobile phones, we had one office PC in the back office in each store. So when a customer comes in and had a question about some products, lipstick or diapers or something like that we sell, the frontline worker has to leave the customer, go to the internet, to the on-prem internet, on desktop PC, research the answer if you do not know it, or search another colleague in the warehouse. And sometimes this lasts very long. You know, when you want to buy something, you do not want to wait 10 minutes till the first line worker comes back. So now with the mobile devices and collaboration and chatting and short phone calls with Teams, they can stand directly at the customer, and the customer knows, this guy is helping me right now with my problem. And for the customer experience, it's a very big step forward.
Thank you.
Our customer service team gets live chats from the website, phone calls every day about bicycles that could be older than the person that's taking the call, to be honest. So before it was either stand up, does anybody know about this? Or they'd send an email to their group. Now it's literally on Teams. They might even have a picture of it. They have a whole thing about their tribal knowledge and does anybody know about this particular bike in this question? And somebody will say, what's the repair process for this, or the part they could use, a replacement part for that. That stuff's going on every day, helping serve customers and consumers using the product.
So 2 minutes left.
I have a quick one. This is on governance. The topic is third-party apps. Can you share with us a little bit about your approach to deploying third-party apps? Did you turn them all on? Were you selective?
We turn them all off.
All off?
Yeah, because of the GDPR, Microsoft cannot give us a guarantee for the third-party integrated apps. So we have to turn them at first all off, and then there is a need for a special third-party app. We have to decide individually what we do with it.
Okay, thank you.
And actually, just to add on that, this was a little bit of a pain point for us as well, because we actually have to go through our security and make sure that security has approved the application before it was actually published. So that's another thing, is that we would always make sure that we get it approved, doing risk assessments, whatever it may be, before it was actually enabled.
A quick follow-on to that. So there's currently no full manifest of all the third-party apps that are available. I think the best Microsoft can do is point me at AppSource as the kind of truth, and I think that's it.
Yeah, that is all the
Yeah.
Teams admin center. You'll see the whole list.
Mhm.
And our philosophy
Yeah.
was know what your users use, like Fox or Rike or any of them, and keep those on. And turn the other ones off, because you'll end up getting a call from the salesperson that says, hey, you signed up for our trial. So we turn that off, ones that we don't know, and then we have a pretty much process to request new ones. Custom connectors, webhooks, DSDS, and all
the first party apps, yeah.
Yeah. You. Yeah, you actually you can decide to switch off only third-party applications and leave the Microsoft services on. And this is actually what we did. The Microsoft tools from the Office 365 suite are still available and can be used because with the GDPR compliance, we're compliant with these tools because we have the agreement with Microsoft. And what you just mentioned is if there is a special need for like Jira or Confluence or something like that, then we have to look for every specific application that should be connected. Do we comply with the GDPR for this particular service? And then we can activate it.
Good answers.
Yeah, from a non-technical standpoint, this comes up in all of our change readiness activities. Like, it is one of the things that we highlight. Hey, look, Teams is even more powerful. It does have third-party apps. They're turned off. And if you need them, let us know, right? So we're very upfront with, hey, we don't know all of them that are out there. So if you find in your course of day that you would like us to review them, please let us know, and we'll investigate.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
So I know there's a few more questions, but we're at time, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time here because they've flown in from all over the world and have volunteered to participate. But I wanted to thank all of our panelists who have had great answers and really good insights. So thank you so much.